Hey, Tay here, so welcome to the VRTech channel. Here we're back with the Oculus Quest 2, and today, as promised, we're gonna compare it with the original Oculus Quest, the first generation standalone headset. So this video is for you if you're wondering if you should upgrade from the original Oculus Quest to the Oculus Quest 2, if it's worth it or not, or if you're actually considering to buy a used Oculus Quest 1 in this bloated used market. Or maybe you're just passing by. Dude, that's odd. But you're lucky because I'm actually doing a giveaway for the Oculus Quest 2 if you arrive to 50k subs before release. We are already at a good point, so check my review over here. Get excited, like, share, subscribe, and of course, enjoy the video. Let's get into it. Alright, so comparing these two behemoths is not an easy task at all. That's why I decided to divide this video in different categories, giving a point of each one is actually winning, or in case they're actually at the same level, a tie. So I'm gonna put over here the two names with the Quest 2 and the Quest 1, and we're gonna just add the number so you can keep track of how we are progressing. And well, I guess we're gonna have a winner at the end. Or maybe not. By the way, on the channel I have reviews for each headset, so you can actually go more in depth. But here we are, let's start with the comparison, and of course, let's start with the most important thing. Kind of, the comfort. The situation here is particular because the original Oculus Quest was well known to be very front heavy. That's why we modded it like crazy during this year and a half of release. But on the other side, the Oculus Quest 2 really shaved the weight. It's just 505 grams this time, so 10% less than the original version. But at the same time, it's shipped with a strap that is really like below average. Now over here you see it with the Elite strap that really gives an edge when it comes to comfort. But at the same way, if we mod the Oculus Quest 1, we're gonna have pretty much the same result, so a much better comfort. So over here, very fast, we're gonna have to give a tie, because both of them out of the box are really meh. But let's go to the category number 2, that is build quality. Over here, I have to say it right away, I'm gonna give a point to the original Oculus Quest. The materials feels much nicer on the original Oculus Quest with this fabric, this silicone cover on the back, the other fabrics inside, around the lenses. Everything feels really like a little jewel. And that's the reason why it was actually so hard to find in stock, because all these materials, like, they were really hard to manufacture. And that's why they went for the Oculus Quest 2 with much easier and mainstream materials. That doesn't mean that the build quality is bad over here. They actually did a very good job. But first point, Quest 1. And after build quality, let's go to design. Well, this can be a little subjective, to be honest, but overall on the Oculus Quest 2 we have something that is smaller, lighter, and it's a different color. It's finally white. We are full of black virtual reality headsets, like you can see pretty much over there, and well, you can see the other side, but they're pretty much all black. And this time we have something a little different. It's smaller, more compact. It feels just nicer overall. It's also rounded all around. It feels more modern for sure, and seeing them side by side is really, oh wow. This thing is old. But now let's get to the interesting part. Let's talk about the screen. On the Oculus Quest 1 we have a resolution of 1440 by 1600 HI, AMOLED display clocked at 72 Hz. Instead, on the Oculus Quest 2 we have an LCD display with RGB pixel arrangement with a resolution of 1832 by 1920, with a refresh rate up to 90 Hz. And it's worth noticing, by the way, that this is a single display compared to the dual display over here. Now, overall, it's very hard to give a point to one or another, because on a side, we have very good blacks, very poppy colors, and well, everything feels very nice, but we also have a little of screen door effect. Instead of the other, the high resolution really helps to get rid of the screen door effect. The colors are still very good, and the blacks are still a good level to be an LCD display, and we can also go to 90 Hz. Now, it's not available yet in the software, but it will arrive in the future, and devs are going to be able also to put support in future games. But we're not talking about games yet, we're talking about the screen itself, and so far, for a comparison between the two, I have to give my point to the Oculus Quest 2, because even if a single display, that new resolution is very nice, and going back to the original Oculus Quest, well, you can really feel the difference. So my point goes here. And now let's talk about the lenses, what we use to actually see the screens. Well, over here they're exactly the same lenses, so we're gonna have the same clarity, the same little glares around, so yeah. That's a tie. What's not a tie is actually the function to move the lenses around to match the position of your eyes, because we already talked about it in my review, that over here we have a 3-step design, 58, 63 and 68. So if you're out of the zone, you might experience some chromatic aberration and a little more glaring than usual. Over here we have a regular slider that is a much better implementation and means that you can match perfectly the position of your eyes. So without any doubt, this point goes to the original Oculus Quest. Good job, man. So let's talk now about the controllers. Now, on the Oculus Quest 2, we have a new design that actually reminds us the original Oculus design with the old Oculus Rift. So this round part is much bigger. We also have a thumb rest area. We also have a much longer battery life and better haptics, but at the same time, we lose the great build quality that we had on the original Oculus Quest, like the magnetic opening for the battery lid, for example, and the anti-slippery texture on the controller themselves. So over here again I have to give a tie. They both work very, very well, pretty much the same, so I don't see why one should be better than another. On the side you have a better battery life, on the other side you have a better build quality, so yeah, a tie. And of course, if we have to talk about controllers, we have to talk about tracking, because over here we have the same 4 cameras for tracking, pass-through, and tracking, and I don't know what they're gonna invent in the future, but the tracking is pretty much the same. I didn't find any difference in latency, precision, and stuff like that. Everything feels exactly the same, so yeah, another tie over here. Now, next section, is it gonna break the tie? Let's talk about audio. So over here we have a very similar design when the audio comes directly out from the strap, and while they're the same drivers, they actually tweak the software a little and stuff like that, and on the Oculus Quest 2 we have 6 more decibel of sound, so it means that it's gonna be a little louder than before. But overall the quality is pretty much the same. You will say, okay, let's give a point to the Quest 2, but on the Quest 1 we actually have 2 headphone jacks that for me count a little, because you're going to be able to use headphones that have the attachment on the left and on the right, it's actually the opposite, without any problem. So yeah, another tie. This wasn't the one. Alright, let's keep going. Let's talk about battery life. So over here we have 2 different processors, so of course they're gonna handle battery life in a different way. And while usually I had an experience of 2 hours and a half, or continuous playing with the original Oculus Quest, with the Oculus Quest 2 I had an experience of like 2 hours when I was really stretching. And I mean with this battery life really just playing games, because if you stay in the browser, stuff like that, it can get to 2 hours and a half and 3 hours or even more. But if you play, of course it's gonna use more juice, so if math is right, 2 hours and a half is more than 2 hours, so a point to the Oculus Quest 1. Next point, you guessed it, processor. Now the processor is the core of the system, is what is gonna run your experiences, what makes this possible to be a standalone headset. The processors on these headsets are both made by Qualcomm, and over here we have a Snapdragon 835 that at this point is a 3-4 years old processor. Instead, on the Oculus Quest 2 we have an XR2, the equivalent of a Snapdragon 865, that is what you're gonna find in the top tier smartphones right now, and this is even costing for VR use. So this is easy, even if it's crazy to think about the miracles that they achieved with this old chipset over here for the games that we saw in the past and we're still gonna see in the future. Here we have such a beast that is 2 times more powerful, or even more, than the original Oculus Quest. So yeah, the point goes to the Quest 2. Let's keep going with software, because these 2 guys are gonna run the same exact software, but of course because of the processor on the Oculus Quest 2 it will feel much snappier than what we had on the Oculus Quest 1. Not that the Oculus Quest 1 is a bad experience, but overall when you go around the menu, you browse the store, you browse the browser and something like that, the Oculus Quest 2 is just a breeze. It's like to use your new smartphone. So point to the Quest 2, and let's get to the most important thing probably, that is actually games. How do they run on these 2 different systems? Well, again, this is easy because it kind of tied to the processor thing that is much more powerful than before. The nice thing is that for now you're gonna be able to play games in both systems without any problem. We're just gonna have a little differences like a foveated rendering, so that means that the resolution is gonna be of course higher on the Oculus Quest 2 compared to the Oculus Quest 1, where it's gonna decrease the resolution of the edges much more than what is gonna happen on the Oculus Quest 2. Also over here you're gonna be able to play new games in the future, because while Oculus said that, yeah, for now we're gonna have games that are gonna be for both platforms, they also said that they don't exclude the possibility for devs to create games just for the Oculus Quest 2. So far, for now, you're covered, but in the future maybe you wanna want to consider something more powerful. And for that, we have to give the point, of course, to the Oculus Quest 2. Now let's talk about Link, the ability to connect your Oculus Quest to your VR-ready PC to play games on the Oculus platform or also on Steam VR. Well, over here right now is pretty much a tie because yes, you have a different screen, but at the end of the day, we have pretty much the same quality and bandwidth. But at the same time, seeing how they improved the situation on the original Oculus Quest and saying that they're gonna work on the support for the 90 Hz on the Oculus Quest 2, again, I have to give a point to the Oculus Quest 2 because this is gonna be a much better experience if you're using it with Link. And now the last two sections, I actually lost the count. Luckily, we have the points over there. Let's get to Modability. This thing for me is very important because we saw so many third-party accessories for the original Oculus Quest, but it wasn't really easy to actually create this accessory to make it like fit and stuff like that. It was hard to take out, for example, the original strap and put it back together. Everything was a little clunky. You could tell that it wasn't even in the back on their mind, and they were kind of overwhelmed by the request to make this thing much better than before. And that's how they moved over here with the Oculus Quest 2, where it's so easy to actually change the strap. It's just really a clipping design. It's so easy to change pieces, so easy that I can put it back. Alright, they actually created different accessories themselves, like the lead strap. We did a review about it over here, by the way. And the nice thing is that third party are going to be able to create accessories in the future and make it compatible very easily with the Oculus Quest 2. We also saw already accessory from Logitech, like the keyboard. Overall, I'm expecting a lot for this headset, and I think it's gonna be very nice to see how this thing is gonna evolve in the future. So, another point to the Quest 2. And of course, let's get to the last point, this is price. This is a simple math. Over here, we started at the 64GB version for $399, when on the Oculus Quest 2, we had the starting price of $299. So it's crazy that with all these points, with how much better it got in many different things, they were able to actually pull the price down and make it more affordable to bring it to the mainstream market. And yeah, you could say they put a very bad strap over here, and that's why the price is lower. But even if you take the lead strap, it's gonna be $50 less than the original Oculus Quest. And the second tier, the 256GB version, is just $100 more. Instead, over here, for $100 more, you had the 128GB version. So another big jump over there. So overall, yeah, it's obvious, another point to the Quest 2. So I guess we have our answer over here. Yes, the Oculus Quest 2 is a full-fledged upgrade from the original Oculus Quest, but that doesn't make the original Oculus Quest a bad headset. Overall, I would say if you really have the Oculus Quest and you're happy with it, I will keep going a little, because right now we have still the same games and things run pretty much in the same way. Yes, they look a little better over here, but nothing drastic, of course. And while an upgrade may not be needed right now, it may be needed in the future that is not even too far away. On the other side though, I don't expect the Oculus Quest 2 to go down in price any further, even in a year or a year and a half, because we didn't see it with the original Oculus Quest, so I don't think it's gonna happen with the Oculus Quest 2. But yeah, the important point is that the Oculus Quest 2 didn't make the Oculus Quest 1 unusable. And if instead you're considering to buy a used Oculus Quest right now, well, it could be a very good deal, because you're gonna have the same games of the next generation, you're gonna be able to enjoy them in pretty much the same way, and the price is gonna be even lower. You can find it like for $200. Well, you know, you have the same price of what was the Oculus Go, but you have a full-fledged VR experience over here already. So good luck with that and enjoy it, and welcome to VR. If instead you were just passing through, dude, prompt to you. Thanks for watching, and let me know in the comment below which one you would consider of the two. But yeah, overall, this is the situation. I hope it helped. And as always, if you liked the video, like. If you didn't like the video, dislike. Subscribe to the channel for more of VR tech. And if you really love the channel, there's a join button down there, and also the Patreon in the description with exclusive content over there. And we also have the t-shirt, sticker and mask, the 2020 item #1. I see you guys next week with the Through the Lenses videos. We're gonna compare these two guys and much more. So subscribe and bell button for that. Again, like, dislike, subscribe. See you guys next video. Thanks for watching. Ciao!